everybody? Welcome back to Fashion Mentor TV. It's your girl Brittany Diego, and today I'm going to be answering your questions about becoming a stylist. When I first started out as a stylist, when I was interning and assisting, I always felt like I couldn't ask questions because whenever I did try to ask questions, the stylist I was working for would look at me weird, like I was crazy. So I never felt comfortable enough to ask those questions. So I don't want y'all to feel that way, so I'm making myself available to answer any and every question that you have about becoming a stylist and breaking into this industry. I held a poll on Instagram asking you to send in your questions about what it takes to become a stylist, and y'all came with it. Y'all didn't hold anything back. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first question is, what are the different types of styling and how do you choose a path? Okay, so I actually have a full video on the different types of styling careers that you can pursue. There's so many. It ranges from runway styling to TV styling to personal styling, celebrity styling, editorials. So the list goes on and on. Go ahead and check that video out. I'm going to link to it below. But as far as choosing a path, I always say try everything, because the thing about styling is it looks glamorous from the outside until you actually do it. I remember when I first started out as a stylist and I was determined to style for TV and films, and when I finally did that, I was like, this is not the business for me. I did not like 12, 14-hour days. Literally every day of filming, it was a minimum of 12 hours. I don't like waking up early. I had to be on set most times at 8 a.m. For film and productions, you have to be on set at crazy hours, sometimes 5 a.m., sometimes 8 a.m., which is early for me personally. And taking into account all those factors, I just remember always being exhausted when I was working in TV. Those 12 to 14-hour days will drain you, or at least for me. So again, that's why I say it's always good to try it. So if you think you'll really enjoy a certain type of styling, do it, because you never know until you try it. I found that I enjoyed other types of styling more than TV styling, such as working with celebrities. I love doing red carpets because I live for the glamour of that moment and getting that photo and getting images. I love doing editorials because it allows you to be super creative. So that's why I always say try everything when you're starting out as a stylist, because you just never know until you do it. You can watch all the videos, you can read all the books, but nothing trumps doing it. Okay, next question is how to get started as a stylist with no prior experience. Okay, that's a really good question because we all have to start from somewhere, right? So my advice to you is figure out what that stylist needs on their team and get in there how you can, even if it's not immediately as their styling intern or assistant. And what I mean by that is I have another personal story. So I reached out to the stylist. I loved her work and I didn't hear from her for months. But when I did hear back from her, she asked me if I was available to be her communications intern. And I was like, that's not really what I asked for, but okay, I'll do it. It's better than what I'm doing right now, so I guess I'll do it. So she had me sending all her emails, setting up her appointments, coordinating her showroom polls, and eventually after a couple weeks, she saw that I was serious, I was on top of it, and I was dedicating to doing a great job, even though I wasn't doing anything glamorous. And by that proved to her that I wasn't trying to be in her circle, to be around celebrities or for the glamour of it. So she recognized that I was a hard worker, and then she soon started giving me more responsibilities in line with being a styling intern. So then she started having me go on her polls and eventually go to her client's house to drop off red carpet dresses. So it started out as sending her emails because she had so much on her plate. She was styling for TV, she was styling menswear clients, she was doing all types of things. So by making her life easier and alleviating her stress in one area, she started trusting me and giving me more responsibility in the area that I originally applied for, which is styling. I soon became her assistant, which led to my own styling gigs, and that's how I really got started. So if you have no experience, figure out what else you can bring to the table. So if you're really good at writing emails, they will love that. If you're good at math and accounting, oh my God, stylists need help with receipts and things relating to money all the time. So if you can bring that to the table and take away the headache that brings for stylists, they're gonna love you and they're gonna soon bump you up to having more responsibilities in line with being a stylist. So long story short, take inventory of your skills. What can you bring to the table? What other skills besides styling can you bring to that stylist team? If you follow them on social media and you see that they're starting a blog or a new website or a new YouTube channel, maybe you know how to edit videos. That's going to help them greatly. Offer to edit their videos in exchange for you learning the ropes of styling. So the secret is you want to reach out to them saying that you want to learn. Don't just say, hey, I want to be a stylist. How can you help me? No, that is not the way to go about things. You want to help them. So keep that in mind when you reach out. That'll make you stand out regardless of whether or not you have experience. Next question, what are your 5 must-have items to bring on set? If I had to narrow it down to 5, because the thing is, if y'all ever see me walking around downtown LA, I have a whole cart. I carry around a suitcase. Like, my stylist kit is a suitcase, so I don't know how to travel lightly. So picking 5 might be a struggle. But I would definitely say clips and pins are my number 1 and 2 items, because that's how you make magic on set. If something is a little too big on the model, you can clip it and pin it to make it look like it was tailor-made for her. It's like magic. My other 3 items I would say are double-sided tape. Those are a lifesaver. And I don't mean the tape, the scotch tape that you get from Michael's. That's not gonna work on skin. You need the real stuff, which is called Top Stick. You can find that on Amazon, and they are the best. What is that, 3? I would say my last 2 items, so hard to choose. My last 2 items would be Shout Stain Remover. Yes, that spray that you find in Walmart. It does wonders in removing stains. It will remove stains from white clothes like nothing ever happens. And last but not least is a good steamer. You can have a beautiful couture dress, but if it's wrinkled, then it's gonna look cheap. So steamers do wonders. All right, next is how to start your portfolio. You start by reaching out to creatives in your city. Just start shooting. So when I first started out, the way that I found people in my city is I would look up the hashtag LA photographers, because that's where I live. And you can do the same for wherever you live. So if you live in Atlanta, look up Atlanta photographers. If you live in Houston, look up Houston photographers. And I reached out to the ones whose work I loved, and I said, hey, I'm an up-and-coming stylist. I really love your work. You're really talented, and I would love to style your next shoot. And go from there. Some other places to find crew to build your portfolio. Now, don't think I'm crazy, but I actually found my very first gig that landed my styling in a magazine from Craigslist. So, of course, use your common sense. If it says that Beyonce is looking for a stylist on Craigslist, it's probably a scam. So do not say Brittany told me to go on Craigslist, because no, that's just not it. Another way to find photographers is look at your local art schools. There are photographers who want to specialize in fashion, but they don't know where to find stylists. So connect with their career services department and put out a classified saying that you're looking for portfolio building opportunities with photographers. So if all else fails, get your friends. We all have that one friend who thinks they're models, and start shooting them in your styling. Okay, next question is, when moving from LA to New York, how do you recommend getting contacts in a new place? So there are several ways to hit the ground running in a new place. So the quickest way to gain contacts in fashion is by surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So I would suggest joining groups that are based in the city that you're moving to. In New York, you'll have no problem finding people who love fashion. So one way you can do that is by joining a Facebook group of people who either love fashion or work in the fashion industry. There's Facebook groups for just about every group that you can think of. I'm in a few Facebook groups for wardrobe stylists as well, so go ahead and search for that. Another way is by joining a meetup group. So there's a site called meetup.com where you can basically link up with people who share your interests. So there's groups for different hobbies, for careers, for cultures. So find a fashion group in the meetup site or on the meetup app that's based in New York. Before the pandemic, of course, we can go out and actually meet these people and mingle. Now we're doing a lot of that virtually, which there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's actually better because people are at home. Since we're not running around crazy like we used to, you have more time to make and nurture new connections. Also, shameless plug, I do have 2 ebooks with showroom contacts in LA and New York, so I'm going to link those below for you to check out and hit the ground running in your career in a new city. All right, next question is, can you talk about styling rates? Yes, so I actually made a full video about the topic, which I'm going to link right here for you to check out. Can you share some networking tips? So I also made a video about this topic as well, and I'm going to link that also. But what I will say is networking, make it less about you and more about helping the other person. So instead of going into it thinking, how can this person help me? Think about how you can help them and be of value to them. And they'll be more inclined to help you down the line in the form of referrals and opportunities. So Valeria asks, where to start if I want to be a personal stylist? Okay, so the beauty about personal styling is you are your own boss. You completely set your hours, your rates, what days you work, what days you don't work, who your clients are. So your starting point as a personal stylist is figuring out your niche. So who is it exactly that you're going to be styling? And I really want you to think about that, because a lot of people are out here saying, I'm the stylist to the everyday woman. But what does that even mean? When you serve everybody, you're actually serving no one. You have to have a voice and a point of view to really stand out to clients, because there's a lot of stylists out here. But what makes you the go-to stylist? I love using this example because it really paints the picture. Let's say you broke your foot. Would you rather go to the general practitioner or would you rather go to a foot surgeon? Most likely you're going to want to go to the foot surgeon because they know all there is to know about fixing your foot. Clients are more savvy than ever, so they're going to want a stylist who is well versed in solving particular needs. So if you're known in your city as the go-to stylist for the top CEOs, that makes you exclusive and they're going to want to go to you because you're known as the CEO stylist. Maybe you're the go-to stylist for plus-size beauties. That makes you more appealing because you know exactly what silhouettes, what fabrics, what types of lips are more flattering on curves. So you get what I'm saying. You want to be an expert in that niche. Shauna asks, how do you get more styling jobs? So the way that I booked most of my gigs is by word of mouth. Networking is powerful. Your network is your net worth. So make sure that you're always making connections and leaving a positive impression. You never know when someone's going to refer you to a gig. There are some people who don't speak to interns or someone on set that they don't deem to be important, but let me tell you, you just never know who someone is. I remember one time I was on a shoot and I always say hello to everybody, and there was a lighting assistant that day. It turns out that person who was working on the lights was actually a producer, and he was just helping out a friend that day. So with me making a positive impression on him, he referred me to commercial jobs. So he somehow got my number from the photographer and was hiring me to style commercials that his production company was working on. So networking is the key to booking styling jobs. Scratch that, the good styling jobs. So I hope you guys found that video helpful. If you have any other questions and if you want me to do another one of these types of videos, go ahead and comment that below. Please remember to give this a thumbs up because that's going to help other stylists like yourself find this video and get helpful career advice. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you back here next week. Bye!